Have you ever felt so overwhelmed by your circumstances that you just wanted to pack everything up and start over? That was me not too long ago. I'm Liz, mental health professional, and this is my story of giving up my job, my home, my friends in Wales. I was battling poor mental health and I started afresh in a new country with ADHD. Living in Wales, in the UK, I had a stable job and a place to call home. I had lovely friends, but inside I was falling apart. My mental health was deteriorating. I had anxiety and ADHD made every day a struggle. I was trapped in a cycle of stress and despair. Work was a major trigger for this. The constant pressure, deadline, and the inability to focus made me feel like I was drowning. I was always missing deadlines, feeling as if I hadn't done the work to the exact standard that was required. I felt so stressed. Struggling to keep up, my self-esteem hit rock bottom. I knew something had to change. So I made a bold decision. I quit my job, packed up my life and left my home in Wales. It was terrifying. I had no job lined up, no clear plan, just a desperate need for a fresh start. I wanted to understand myself and my mental health more. I chose a place in Scotland that felt like it could offer me a new beginning. Moving to a new country was both exhilarating and daunting. The first few weeks were the hardest. I felt isolated, far from the familiar faces and places that I knew. And my ADHD symptoms didn't magically disappear with a change of scenery. In fact, relocation seemed to amplify them. Moving is a challenge for anyone, but with ADHD, it can feel like scaling Mount Everest. The sheer number of tasks involved in relocating overwhelmed my executive functioning skills. Packing was a nightmare. I'd start in one room, get distracted, find myself in another, leaving a trail of half-finished tasks. My time management really suffered. It went out the window. I'd underestimate how long things would take, leading to a frantic rush before moving day. The constant decision-making was also exhausting. What to keep, what to throw away, each choice felt monumental, and my ADHD brain struggled to process it all. I'd find myself hyper-focusing, organising one drawer for hours, and neglecting more important, much more pressing tasks. Then there was the paperwork of moving. Things like changing addresses, cancelling utilities, new services, and it set my ADHD into overdrive. I'd forget crucial steps, misplace important documents, and this disruption to my routine was perhaps the most challenging aspect. ADHD thrives on structure, and suddenly everything was uprooted. Simple tasks like finding my toothbrush or remember to eat became really, really tough. I think it's worth it. Arriving in Scotland was amazing. The feeling, the weight off my shoulders, the stress being behind me was amazing. I was still easily distracted by different sights and sounds, making it hard to focus on the essential tasks that I had to do, like job hunting and unpacking. And I couldn't rely on autopilot for anything. Everything, grocery shopping, navigating public transport, required my energy and attention. This was exhausting, and I was drained and emotional quite a lot in the early days. But here's the thing about ADHD. It also brings resilience and creativity. I learned to break these tasks that were really pushing me over the edge into smaller, manageable chunks. I embraced technology, using apps to remind me of important tasks and deadlines. And I tried to turn my daily routine into a game to keep my brain engaged on the little things that I needed to do. I accepted that the process would be messy and imperfect. That was okay. Each small victory, whether it was successfully changing an address or doing some work in a coffee shop, was celebrated. Slowly things began to change. I started exploring my new surroundings, meeting new people, finding a sense of community. I managed to find an amazing job working with young people with neurodevelopmental difficulties and differences. And I managed to find a way of working that really helped and worked for me. I found solace in the simple things up here, taking walks in beautiful Scottish landscapes, joining local groups for swimming, and finding hobbies that I loved. I began to feel a little bit more myself. The journey wasn't easy. There were setbacks and moments of doubt and difficulties, but with each challenge I grew stronger. I learned to manage my ADHD in ways that I hadn't before. I discovered resilience that I didn't know I had. Eventually, the new job that I progressed to allowed me to use my strengths and thrive. It wasn't just about earning a living. It wasn't just about finding a new place where I could be myself, where my ADHD and anxiety wasn't a hindrance, but expressing it as part of who I am. It didn't just change my address, moving countries, it changed my life. It taught me that it's okay to start over at whatever age, to seek help and embrace who you are. And if you're struggling, know that there's always hope. Sometimes a fresh start is exactly what you need. Thank you for listening to my story. If you're facing similar challenges, remember you're not alone. Reach out, seek support and help, and don't be afraid to start over. Your new beginning might just be around the corner.